What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage coming to you almost live. We tried to push it in Facebook Live, but we couldn't do it. But I'm with the one and only Shayla Gifford. What's up, Shayla?
Hey, Dave. Good to be here.
Good to have you. So where are you coming to us live from?
I'm in southern Spain. We're in a little town called Sotogrande, which is right near Gibraltar, at the very southern tip of Spain.
Right on. And so you're doing life quarantined out of the country with your family, which I think is pretty bold and pretty cool. So congrats on living your dream.
Thank you. It's actually, like I've been telling people, in a way I've looked at this is that it's been easier and I have an advantage. And then I thought, that's just crap. Like everybody should create an advantage. You've got to figure out how to make any situation the best situation ever. And that's just kind of a mindset, but it's been incredible for us and our family and the closeness and all the things that you talked about with your son. It's been incredible.
Yeah, no, it has. There's been a lot of gifts, and obviously being in the mortgage business, we are very gifted that we have jobs and we have purpose to help people, help America come out of this quarantine and out of the crisis that we're in. So let's talk mortgage shop talk a little bit. How are you and your team doing right now? Like, what kind of production are you still pulling off?
Yeah, I mean, insane production, Dave. So I've had a LOA that's been in my life for 10 years, and we've grown a team over the last 10 years that's looked various different shapes and sizes and ways. And generally, Lynette and I have liked to pull about 400 to 500 loans a year together, and traditionally 85% purchase or whatever. So we love volume. We've always loved volume. And she supported me in coming to Spain and being on this 6-month family adventure. And we just got this really cool deal. So she's running the team. I'm just providing a lot of coaching and support and coming up with all the crazy ideas I can come up with. And this month, I think we have about 77 on the board. And the last month we closed 63. Just on my personal team. That's, I'm not originating. You're not allowed to originate overseas. So let's just be clear about that. It's actually all running in Lynette Bonnet's name, which is really cool to see, actually. But then as a branch, all the people that I coach and support are just blowing up as well. And it's just been a lot of fun. So a whole different challenge in terms of leadership and supporting the operation when we're way understaffed for the volume we're doing. But we broke our all-time record last month in April, in quarantine, in lockdown, hiring like 5 new people that never got to see an office and onboard virtually. So wow, it's been fun and hard and amazing at the same time.
Well, guys, I interviewed Shayla last year, and it was the #1 video of 2019. It's called Shayla Gifford's Perfect Loan Process or Perfect Mortgage Experience. Guys, I'm going to put a link down below. Yeah. I can't recommend enough. It's a must-watch mortgage coach interview. Check it out, where she walks through her perfect mortgage experience and where mortgage coach fits into that. So you're killing it, you're crushing it, and you're connecting virtually more than ever. So let's talk about that. What do you think the experience is going to look like going forward in the mortgage space? And then let's just try to pull out some best practices around connecting with people, delivering value with people, and a fully virtual mortgage experience.
Yeah, so I think there's 3 ways we can look at this. There's, the employees and the teams that you run. There's the business partners that you have, whether it's builders or real estate agents. And then there's the customer. And I don't know, I feel more available now than I've ever felt. I mean, you texted me and said, hey, can we do a thing? Sure. I just feel more available, and I think it's probably because I have less going on, but I also think it's because everybody's kind of in the same playing field. You know what I mean? Like we're of course going to meet over video. You're going to be wherever you are, and I'm going to be wherever I am, and boom, let's just do this. And so I think availability and connection is really important. And the more complicated it is to, book an appointment, to drive across town, to get restaurant reservations, to whatever, it actually inhibits connection and making things happen. And so, and we've gotten so far away from the phone. I've been kind of amazed too that just a phone call for 4 minutes gets so much done. and we got away from that. And so I think a lot of the old school stuff is coming right back. But in terms of leading people, Dave, I've had also an unfair advantage in that I run 10 different satellite branches. And so I've been doing video and coaching remotely for, I don't know, probably 8 years. We've been doing branch meetings where people come in on Zoom all over the place. And then of course I've coached nationally and also around Guild. So I've been on video doing that. So I just feel just as connected with my people this way, whether I'm in Spain or whether I'm, across town sitting in my living room. And again, I think I've had more one-on-one time with people over video because it's quiet, there's no interruptions, and it doesn't feel so formal, like, let me come into your office and sit down. It's like, hey, can we jump on the video right now? Like, sure, you're just there, you're just
right.
But I think for the customer, we're all getting used to connecting this way. Grandparents are on with their little ones this way, and we're performing dances and playing card games and playing charades over video. And so I think that this is an incredible opportunity for people to realize that you can actually have real meaningful conversations, educational experiences over video. And that's, as you know, and what you preach and why we love each other, that's what I believe a pre-approval meeting is. It's an educational experience. And you've been talking about video forever, and you're the king of YouTube and providing content that way. So this is just forcing all of us to kind of step into what already was happening.
Yeah, no doubt. And I don't remember exactly how the quote goes, but it's one of my favorite quotes is, the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who can't read and write, but those that can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. And I may not have said it in the right sequence, but that really is the competitive advantage right now is you got to unlearn certain things, you got to relearn other things. What are some of the things that you think mortgage professionals need to unlearn and learn right now? Like, what are some technologies, some processes that we need to unlearn, we need to relearn new things? Anything come to mind?
Yeah, I think we all need to unlearn rushing. There's always been that saying, take the time so it takes less time, which means just do it right the first time. And I think that we've been talking about that forever in terms of putting together a quality application, a quality file, that very first phone call with somebody, asking good questions and asking 3 more questions than what may seem natural or appropriate. But that's where the meat is. That's where the heart of connection comes in. And I think that we got to a place where we just valued whatever it was, rushing around. It was almost like, how busy are you? Like, oh, I'm so busy, as if it became like a status symbol. And so I think we need to unlearn rushing, because true connection can happen in an extra 2 minutes, and it takes less time overall. And it's what makes it meaningful. I just had a loan officer get a bouquet of flowers today, and it was a loan that closed 10 days late, and it was on the bond loan, and then the bond loan had problems, then it was a USDA loan, and then it was just one of those typical nightmares. And yet the client sent her flowers at the end of the transaction, and she said, this is my why, and I said, yeah, people don't work with you because you're a perfect person, and they don't work with you because you're a perfect process. They work with you because you're committed, and you pick up the phone and you stick with it and you communicate. And that's what they're choosing, is you, not this perfect thing. And I think that that's another thing to unlearn, is just that, just that authenticity, coming forward and just saying, I don't know. I'm in uncharted territory. I'm in choppy waters. I'm in, we're in double overhead waves right now with operations and, product changes and everything else. And it's okay to say that, but I'm going to be with you. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to finish, cross the finish line with you. I think those are good things to say, but rushing is just, nothing quality really comes of that, and people feel it. We sense immediately if somebody's really with us or not. And if they really intentionally are out for our best interests or have our backs. And I think that's just something that you can't put a price on or a currency on, and something that we've got to focus on, like right in the front of what we do.
I love that. We need to stop rushing. And I think we need to go beyond the normal experience. Like we need to, and again, I've been Mr. Mortgage Coach for a lot of years, believing that people need to unlearn a fee worksheet and relearn and learn to deliver a total cost analysis. But I think in today's world, it's even more important. And I think a lot of people would say, like, obviously I get it because it's a digital interactive experience. But I think the mortgage coach is more important today because it's the transparency. It's showing people different options, which relieve stress, showing them the cost over time. And I'm going to use one example, that I want to hear your thoughts on this. I think there's going to be a lot of people that look at cash reserves differently than they ever have before. Like it used to be like, oh, do I have enough cash reserves to qualify? I'm good. I think coming out of the financial disaster that so many industries have gone through, we're going to look at cash in the bank differently from both a emergency standpoint and an opportunity standpoint. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, should I move up? Should I move down? Or should I, now that I could do life virtually, should I move to where I want to live and do work virtually? And they're going to need a loan officer to do more than, hey, here's your rate payment and cash to close. It's like, hey, how about let me do a TCA and show you how much money you could put in the bank and what you could make on that. And then let me show you what your real estate lifestyle could be. You're gonna need to see more of that transparency. What are your thoughts on that?
Fully, I couldn't agree more. And I think I just talked to my buddy who's in Napa, and 2 weeks ago he was like, I mean, it's dead. Nothing's happening. The whole state of California is shut down. And then I'm hearing from Lake Tahoe that things are really starting to crank up there. And it's like, because people are waking up also to like, what do I really want? And what does home mean to me? And also, how much money do I need? This is a total out of the blue thing, right? A pandemic. So I know for me, that was the first thing that I did. And I just said, okay, I could either freak out and watch the stock market every single day, because I've invested a lot of money in the stock market and I trust my guy, but still, even with all the analysis that he's done for me, to say, okay, if you live to be 105, how long is your money going to last you? Like, the analysis was really important. I needed that. I also needed somebody to listen to me and to just be there for me. And then furthermore, I had to simply say, okay, how much money do I want to be sitting on in cash? And then that's it. Let it ride. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let that go. And I mean, I've always got kind of like the Nazis are coming mentality. I have no idea why when it comes to money, but I'm like, 2 years reserves. If I've got 2 years of reserves, then why would I ever think about money at all? And that's why I work so hard. It's always what's driven me is security. It's not been the fancy things, but I've wanted security. And I think that most of our customers, when we talk to them, it's like, why are they motivated for money? And the first level is to pay their bills. And so we have, at the most basic level of a mortgage professional, and you're running a mortgage coach scenario, you're just talking about what payment can you afford. That's like level 1. But level 2 comes to having a nicer lifestyle. And this is what you're talking about. Do you want a yard? What kind? Do you want south facing? Do you want to be close to the woods or off-road, access? Or what are the things that really matter to your life? And, how much time you're spending in a car, and blah, blah, blah. And then the third motivation just generally is about retirement. And some of our buyers aren't there yet, but we should be the person to say that, money's a tool, and having money equals freedom, and money makes you more of who you are. So let's talk about retirement. Yes, you're 26, but let's build some wealth here. Let's talk about how real estate can build you wealth, and let's look at 5% down versus 10% versus 20% down, and what you could be doing with that. So, and then the last motivation is legacy. And so no matter what, you're going to have our buyers on one of 4 or all 4, which is, well, what kind of legacy are you trying to leave for your family? If you were to kick the bucket, do you plan on leaving this to your kids? I just don't think we've done a good job as an industry, Dave. And I think this is why you're so passionate, 2 decades later or more, of
Right.
really saying, come on, mortgage industry. Like, we have this incredible opportunity to make, and difference in people's lives and talk about these things that they don't know. It's complicated, but how do we make it simple? You know?
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm going to show a slide that we've recently been training people with. And this, I really designed this to be consumer facing, but these are the 4 essentials to making a smart mortgage decision, guys. And as a mortgage coach in this community, you are uniquely armed to have a different conversation and a better conversation. I mean, number 1, make sure you're having a different conversation with a different level of empathy around cash reserves with people. Making sure that you're always showing the cost over time. That is an essential way to make a smart mortgage decision. I think more than ever, we need to make sure we're analyzing people's consumer debt, whether it's a purchase or a refi. Look at that in the context of their down payment. And then number 4, always be looking for ways to help a family reduce their interest costs and pay off their house faster. So, I mean, these are the things that I have always been a competitive advantage, but now they're becoming things that are essential to people just making smart mortgage decisions. The other thing I want to, and you may or may not, I don't know how close you are to the gamification that we recently rolled out, but we're gamifying being that advisor. Everybody wants to be a black belt at something. And Shayla, you've had just a tremendous number of people that you coach, that you lead, that, I mean, you've got a couple of folks that have become a black belt in one single year. If you could, we're talking to the mortgage coach community right now. What is the mortgage coach why for you in today's market? We're in May of 2020. I think I asked you this question last year, but do you have any new mortgage coach whys coming through your mind right now?
I have a lot, but I would say that it always boils down to either fear of loss or opportunity for gain. And, whichever is going to work for you, whether it's the carrot or the stick. And I think, first I think about why I want to be a leader in this. And I want to be providing more value than anybody could have ever needed. I heard a quote yesterday that was, don't strive to be successful, strive to be valuable. And I love that because I've never wanted to be a salesperson. I like stats and physics and spreadsheets. And so I just have never felt a lack of confidence if I know I'm going out with a lot of value. And so that's kind of the motivation for gain. But the fear of loss says, well, don't be the only idiot in town that is still on a yellow pad and putting out fee sheets. Don't think that you're going to beat the online giants that spend 10 billion in advertising. And that's an exaggeration probably, but, and probably have lower rates and lower LO comp and are just going to drown you if you play that game. But I think ultimately what I'm so inspired by, Dave, recently I just had an interview with 3 of our guild LOs at various different levels in their business. We had 300 people on the call. And what was so cool about all 3 of these individuals is that they all came into the business on a team with no mortgage experience. They were on a team for anywhere from 4 years to 12 years, and then made the leap to commission only on their own. And every one of these, one was closing 17 loans this month, 123, and 149 loans this month. And they weren't that fresh, that far off of being on a team and building their own brand and who they are. And I feel like all 3 of them had this confidence that they were going to do right by their customer. They were going to work with good people. They were going to provide solid education and advice. And that gave them the courage and the confidence to build this career. And so, and I just, this career blows me away that you could be any knucklehead. You could be a blonde high school graduate from Reno, Nevada, and build, a multi-million-dollar business, career, income. I mean, it's insane, but you got to get good at providing value to people. So I just feel like more and more, Dave, people are taking this on and they're leaning in, whether it's for the refinance clients, and they're not just going, oh yeah, you save $150. Here's 3 bullet points on an email. They're actually sending a TCA, and they're giving 3 options, and they're going no points, 1 point, 2 points, and asking how long they're going to stay in the home, and changing, the view of, well, let's look at a 60-month, let's look at an 84-month, let's look at, whatever. And also saying, no, this doesn't make sense. you have a $94,000 loan amount. You're only going to be in the house 2 to 3 years. Saving this amount is just not going to be worth it. And I think that makes people feel good about what they're doing and feel really confident.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think a lot of people that you mentioned, and I had the honor of interviewing Amber Kovark last week on our Scriptapalooza event. By the way, she killed it. She had a 3-promise script. And when she walked through her scripting for how she locks in a loan with someone, you're just like, wow, what a pro. And if you listen to her on Scriptapalooza, you'll notice that she slowed down. She had a really quality connected conversation so that when someone locked in a rate, they knew what they were doing. They understood the good and the bad of that. And she's killing it. And so I like that takeaway you started the whole thing with. And I'm sure that the people that you just talked about, they epitomize that. One last thought, and then let's go into wrap up mode. You said something about it's more important to be valuable to people. And I think as mortgage professionals, we can literally be the most memorable, valuable financial advisor a family has, where we surpass how much value a CPA provides. We surpass how much value a financial planner provides. And I just don't see that slowing down. I think like this industry is just getting better and brighter, and it's the best job on the planet. What are your thoughts on that? Like, if there's a new loan officer listening in on this, or I'm surprised how many people are thinking about getting in the mortgage industry that are watching our YouTube channel, and they're like, oh, should I do it? What wisdom do you have for either the new people or the people that are thinking about the mortgage business right now?
Well, first of all, Dave, thank God for you. You're a total blessing. The fact that you're so passionate about bringing this education to everybody, like, you're not out trying to sell another membership to Mortgage Coach. Like, you're literally out to change the game and change the world. And also, I think, preserve our livelihoods as mortgage professionals, because, there's definitely been fear over the last several years that, this digital wave of day one certainty loans that can just be done with a computer with monster internet giants is just going to replace the retail loan officer. And we've talked about that many times, and that's absolutely not the case because of what you just said of adding value to a family. But I mean, I just think about when I got started in the mortgage business 15 years ago, what somebody gave me was like cassette tapes that went to VCR. I had like 6 cassette tapes of like a live recording of how to understand mortgage. And I was just so moved by having a career that really matters. Of course I was motivated to be successful, and I wanted to make money because I didn't want to feel a lack of security. I grew up with 2 parents that were entrepreneurs, and was like, it felt like sometimes like, we could have anything that we wanted, and we're going to Disneyland. And then sometimes we're like, and we're selling the house, and I don't know if you can do gymnastics anymore. And so for me, I like being successful for that security, and to have a career where it doesn't matter where you were born, where you came from, what your degrees are, you can learn whatever you need to learn is just an incredible gift in the mortgage business. So to have this channel and to be able to listen to the best of the best and just really listen to scripting, my only wish is that you've got hungry, awesome people listening, and they're not just listening once, but they're listening over and over and over and over again. Because I promise you, you take that script that Amber does, or that Sarah, Ryan, or Ben does that on the interview I just did last week, and you just repeat it, and it becomes you, and you become authentic, and you can really make a difference and build a career that you're proud of, and that can be as big or bright as you want it to be.
I love that. So guys, we're going to wrap it up with, make sure you watch Scriptapalooza if you haven't already. It's at our YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below. I had that called transcribed, and I also put quite a bit of resources to have it just edited so that it became a teaching tool. So also put a link to that down below. It's called the Scriptapalooza Sales Training Manual, where we highlighted what were the big takeaways from each speaker and what were some of their top scripts. So the goal with creating that was to just make it, like you said, more actionable. Like, I've always noticed the best of the best, they hear how someone does something, they take notes, they're intentional about leveraging those things. And guys, you know what they're intentional about? Unlearning the way they're doing it now and learning a new way of doing it. And the most successful loan officers just have a knack for that. So I hope you got value from this conversation with Shayla. Shayla, in a minute or less, any parting words for the mortgage coach community?
Yeah, you can either be a student of learning or you can be a student of action. And just like Dave was saying, you could listen to these videos till you're blue in the face and just say, I want to learn, learn, learn. Or you could get pissed, you could get excited, you could get fired up, whatever your thing is. And you could say, I'm going to master this and I'm going to be a black belt. I'm going to be a platinum double star, rad, amazing mortgage coach advisor. And I'm going to be on an interview with Dave sometime in the future. And I'm going to make a difference in my community, one customer at a time, because that's what it is. And then you look back 10 years later and you're like, wow, look at what you build and how you make a difference. And so be a student of action, not just a student of learning.
I love that. I was always, whenever I do these, I'm always thinking like, what's going to be the headline in how I promote this call? And I think I'm going to do how to be a rad mortgage professional with Shayla Gifford. Yes. I've got to put the word rad in the headline. So I love it. Shayla, thank you so much for spending some time in the mortgage coach community, and thanks for just how much you've helped our movement, both at Guild, with all the people outside of Guild that you touch. Literally, it's hundreds of mortgage professionals have not only signed up for mortgage coach, but they're delivering a better experience to families because of you. So appreciate you.
Thank you. It's an honor, truly.
All right, guys. So if you got value, give us a like. If you love the conversation, love it. Share it with your mortgage friends, and hope you got a valuable half hour here. Take care, everybody.